What is going on, guys? I am Jada Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in, man. And wow, this story broke last night or yesterday, well, mainly close to last night. And apparently, two NFL players who have decent sized contracts. I would say, well, let's say decent. I say decent enough for them. Okay, now DeAndre Baker and Quinton Dunbar are being accused of robbing their, I wouldn't say friends, but the people that they were partying with. They decided that, you know what, we're going to take their valuables and we're going to hold them, by weapon. And I believe it was because DeAndre here lost some money. He lost a lot of money trying to be a gambler. Now, let me go to the tweet. This was a tweet I retweeted. As a matter of fact, make sure y'all follow me on Twitter, okay? Now, here you can see Adam Schefter speaking about the Miramar Police Department having an arrest warrant issued for the Giants cornerback and the Seattle Seahawks cornerback. Now, what's interesting about this is that Quinton Dunbar is older than DeAndre Baker, but this seemed to have been a situation where DeAndre Baker was the lead in on this particular situation. Let's go to the article. It says two NFL players, including a 2019 first round draft pick, have been accused of armed robbery and arrest warrants have been issued. TMZ Sports has learned. Law enforcement confirmed that the New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker, who was the 30th overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft, is facing 4 charges for that robbery and 4 charges of aggravated assault with a firearm. The Seahawks cornerback Quinton Dunbar is facing 4 counts of armed robbery himself. According to police, the two men were partying in Miramar, Florida on May 13th when things took a disturbing turn. Cops say that Baker and Dunbar were allegedly hanging out at a cookout, playing cards and video games, when an argument broke out and Baker whipped out the semi-automatic. Yeah. I want y'all to understand, this is a first round draft pick. This is a guy who left I would say he left Old Neighborhood because he's back in Florida. This guy who left, you would think those problems behind. He has money. He's playing for the Giants. He's in the NFL. He's living his dream. But sometimes, that mentality never goes, especially when your ego is involved. Cops said the men began to rob party guests, with Dunbar assisting in taking watches and other valuables at the direction of Baker. Understand this. DeAndre Baker, I believe, is 22 years old. Quinton Dunbar is 27 years old. What's wrong with that picture? Quinton Dunbar is a vet. If you compare the two careers, he's a veteran. But you got the younger Baker who's handing out orders. But there's more. At one point, cops say Baker directed a third man who was wearing a red mask to shoot someone who had just walked into the party. But unfortunately, no one was actually hit. Oh my God. What? I mean, is this quarantine really screwing up people like this? But there's more. Law enforcement say the men made out with more than $7,000 in cash, along with several valuable watches, including $18,000 Rolex watch, a $25,000 Hublot, and a pricey timepiece. There are conflicting reports from witnesses about whether Dunbar was armed. Some say he was, others say he was not. One witness told cops that they met Baker and Dunbar at a party a few days earlier in Miami, at which NFL players had lost around $70,000. Our sources tell us the men had lost the money in a high-stakes card game and other forms of gambling. One witness told cops the men were gambling again at the May 13th event, even when an argument broke out and Baker allegedly flipped a table and bust out his piece. This seems to be a guy who's a bit of a sore loser. This is a guy who keeps losing. Okay, he keeps losing. He ain't winning. This is a crazy situation to be in, man. And I got more on DeAndre Baker. Okay, but I want people to understand something. When you have these guys, right, these young guys who are basically handed everything because of their abilities, right? They really don't understand the concept of truly being able to be mature and accountable for their decisions. You got DeAndre Baker playing for the New York Giants. That's him here. And he's out here gambling and he's losing and he's getting upset. Here's a guy who's losing at card games. So what he wants to do is he wants to go and hold these guys up. And you got the older Dunbar who's going along with it. This is crazy. Let's see. According to the cops, some people at the party believe it was a planned robbery because when the three men were done taking the valuables, there were 3 getaway cars strategically positioned to expedite an immediate departure, like something you've seen out of a film. FYI, the alleged getaway cars were sick: a Lamborghini, a Mercedes-Benz, and a BMW. Thank you, TMZ, for saying that. Cops tell us they have been in contact with reps for the suspects, and they're currently working on a planned surrender. 22-year-old Baker, a former Georgia Bulldogs superstar, was picked with the 30th overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft and expected to compete for a starting job on the Giants this season. 27-year-old Dunbar, meanwhile, was just traded from Washington to the Seattle Seahawks in March after starting 25 games for the Redskins from 2015 to 2019. He's also expected to compete for the starter minutes in Seattle. And let's see, it was an update here. Let's see. The Giants have issued a statement regarding Baker's alleged role in the robbery, saying that we are aware of the situation and we have been in contact with DeAndre. We have no further comment. I think DeAndre needs to get ahead of this situation and turn himself in, because this is not good. This is not a good situation. But there's more on DeAndre real quick. Now, DeAndre skipped team's voluntary minicamp, right? But according to this article, this guy would fall asleep in team meetings. Now, this is according to GiantsWire.USA Today. It says New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker allegedly fell asleep during team meetings in 2019, but that pales in comparison to the situation he currently finds himself in. And y'all know I just spoke about that. This is a guy who, seemingly just doesn't care. And this is also the same guy. Let me see if I can find that video. He bought a car. He bought a car see, that's the video here. I guess he's speaking to the media. But he bought a car for his mother. I think it was a Bentley. He bought his mother an expensive Bentley. I bet the upkeep on that is crazy. I don't know if it's fully paid for or he's going to be paying off on it. But if these charges go through, man, and he ends up, losing money due to this, because these teams could void contracts, they can take back bonus money. It has happened before. These teams will go after that money if they feel the need. They feel like they have to. He bought his mother a Bentley. He surprised her. I bet he's probably spent more than $1 million. They have this YouTube page where, you discuss how you spent your first $1 million, right? And I bet DeAndre would tell him half of that probably went to gambling, But this is a story that is just weird. You got DeAndre Baker, okay? You got DeAndre Baker here. Let's see. This is like a chart of the money that he's making. You see it's a 4-year contract, his rookie deal, $10 million, signing bonus, $5 million, average salary, $2 million, guarantees, $9 million. And this is a guy who is getting upset because him and Dunbar lost $70,000, and that causes you to do this? This is crazy. Take that L, man. They got you. They got your money, man. There's no need to put yourself in a situation to lose everything. How your mother gonna keep for that Bentley? You know? I think being in South Florida might have been the worst thing for him. He probably need to be close to the team facilities, because some of these guys, man, when they're not around the team, they tend to lose focus and put themselves in a position to get caught up. And it looks like DeAndre and Quinton Dunbar got caught up. But the reason why I'm really getting on DeAndre, because the guy was a first round pick, you know? This guy, for the most part, has a lot of talent. He's competing for a starting job. And this is going on. I would hope that it's wrong. Like, this isn't the truth. It's not happening. But I have a hard time believing that people are lying on him in this situation. But for his sake, he better hope that nothing comes of this.